Evil, a medieval pop culture podcast where we talk about how medieval and medieval-inspired movies, TV, and books depict the medieval world. What do they get right? What do they get wrong? And what do they tell us about how modern people see the medieval past? I'm Sarah Ifft, a medieval historian, and today I'm joined by Erica Desautels to talk about Disney's The Little Mermaid. So Erica, welcome.
Thank you. I'm here. I'm so excited. So excited to be here. I had so much fun rewatching this movie last night. It was really nice. It felt really good.
Nice. It's just nice in this time to watch something that's just comforting and familiar and nice.
Yes, exactly.
Would you like to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and about why you wanted to talk about this particular movie?
Sure. I am a theater artist and textile artist based in Boston, Massachusetts. I primarily work at the Boston Ballet in the costume shop, sort of caring for and building costumes, and specifically accessories like masks and tiaras and that kind of thing. And then I also spend my time doing a lot of design work for youth theater and small new works in the Boston area. Cool. And I love The Little Mermaid. It is my all-time favorite Disney movie, and that's it. And it has been always, and it always will be. And this movie really lives inside my heart. There was a point, maybe more than that, years ago when my husband and I, we were intoxicated, and we were at the part of the night where you just got to make a grilled cheese and drink a lot of water. And yeah, sort of the self-care before you go to sleep. And we decided to sing Disney songs to each other, and I sang Part of Your World to him and made myself cry. So that's what we're dealing with. And that's the energy I am always bringing to The Little Mermaid.
This is also my hands-down favorite Disney movie, and has been since I was very, very young. I guess I was 2 years old when this movie came out. It came out in 1989.
Yes, I was also 2. I have no idea when I first saw it. I was probably 4.
Very young.
Maybe. When did we get the VHS? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, this is one of the movies also that I distinctly remember owning on VHS back in the day.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes, and just rewatching it all the time.
This might even have been one that I actually had 2 VHS copies. I had one at home and one that I kept at my grandma's because she was my usual babysitter since she lived in the area. And so I would hang out at my grandma's and we would watch movies, and this was definitely a favorite.
Yes. My sort of grandma babysitting life also sort of extends into the Little Mermaid universe, which is that I was seriously a water baby, and I grew up close enough to Long Island Sound to go there all the time. We lived close to my grandma who had a pool, so I basically was submerged in water 90% of my summers growing up, and that's very crucial. Also, as a Pisces, it's just so many of those things.
I'm actually also a Pisces.
Are really inside.
I sometimes feel I'm bad at being a Pisces, but I am a Pisces.
Sarah. No, I'm a Pisces with a Virgo cap situation. I'm a Pisces and that I cry a lot, but I also need to be in control of everything around me. So
it's funny because my dad is a Virgo, and my dad is actually a very solid Virgo, and I am a lot like my dad. So I'm really a kind of stealth Virgo.
Yeah, and now this is an astronomy podcast. Or astrology. Oh my God, astronomy. Oh my God, physics people don't come at me. But yes.
Yeah. So
my gosh.
Little Mermaid, directed by Ron Clements and John Musker, with music by Alan Menken, starring Jodie Benson as Ariel, and this is, I believe, her first film role.
Ooh, Jodie, nice.
So she had been a Broadway actress, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, and then this is her first film work and she's known mostly for voice work. Christopher Daniel Barnes is Eric, and I find it very funny, by the way, that he did not voice Eric in the sequel, but he did voice the prince in the Cinderella sequels.
Why? It's so funny.
I don't know. Pat Carroll, who is, of course, excellent as Ursula.
The queen, the queen, the queen.
Yes, that is my song from The Little Mermaid. If I have to sing, as I sing Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Nice.
And also, of course, Kenneth Mars as Triton, Samuel E. Wright as Sebastian, Buddy Hackett as Scuttle, and René Auberjonois as Chef Louis. And he just died relatively recently in 2019.
Sam Wright died less than a month ago.
Wait,
Not
really?
To completely date this. Yes. We looked.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I think that was not on Wikipedia, or I missed it or something. Wow.
No, it is. I just checked it.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, my brain just skipped over that.
Not to totally jump ahead on the sort of Sebastian of it all, but my husband was while we were watching, he was why is he I wonder who made the choice for that accent? And so I was I don't know, maybe Sam Wright did. Not sure. And he started Googling Sam Wright, and he was he literally just died.
Wow.
So like R.I.P. I actually had on tape growing up, we had this like taped production of a live show, presumably like at Disney, of Sam Wright performing songs from Little Mermaid and like other ocean-based songs, and has like these like fish performers around him. That is such like a thing I remember from my life. Yeah. In that like time period. Yeah. I have so much affection for him. I love Sam Wright.
I know. That's really sad. Yeah.
I know.
No, I'd miss that.
I know, it is really sad. I know. Yeah. So R.I.P. to a king.
Yes. He's so good.
Yeah. He's really incredible. He's incredible in this whole movie.
Absolutely incredible. The first proper section is the enumeratio or recap, where we talk through basically what happens in this film, or just have some kind of general conversation, since probably most people basically know what happens in this film, as opposed to some of the more obscure things that I sometimes cover.
I mean, you'd think that, but I always forget about literally the first part of the film. Like when they're on, it's like that we are on the ship first.
Right, that the opening song is, the fathoms below, and we get to sing about how it's, fun to be at sea, and we meet Eric, and he's having fun at sea, and Grimsby, and he's not having fun at sea.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I totally, every single time I think I forget that's how that movie starts. I just like wipe it from my brain immediately every single time. It's very, very funny.
It's also fun that we then kind of switch to the point of view of the fish who they've caught, who then gets away. And this movie, I'm pretty sure, might be one of the reasons why I became a vegetarian, and including like did not, a proper vegetarian, did not eat fish, and was a vegetarian for 14 years.
Okay, yeah. As a kid, did you decide as a kid to like?
Yeah, like ages 10 to 24. Basically, I was a vegetarian.
Wow.
And then went to New Orleans and had a shrimp po' boy and ruined it.
Got it. Yeah, no, I understand.
Sebastian would be so mad at me.
Yeah, I actually have never liked seafood, and I also wonder if it's because I identify too much as a fish.
Yeah.
Just myself. But I also just I just don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it is such a gorgeous, seamless transition to sort of, getting this, above culture and a little bit of that, exposition of, King Triton and all of these other kind of, these mermaid myths and lore that these, sailors have. And then this fish sort of jumps in and swims down. And, it's very unclear how far down the fish is going. Confusing. It's where are we, ocean level-wise?
No idea.
It's they should be deeper.
It's sort of unclear because every now and then they're oh, you're so deep down here, we have to go further up, and I'm wait, so what is supposed to be the ideal level of the sea for mermaids to hang out at?
Yes, we don't really know. I mean, it can't be that deep because they have they don't have bioluminescence as far as we know. I'm also interested in talking about mermaids generally as cryptids.
Right. Yeah, because I feel the physiology of mermaids is not that clear. How do they breathe underwater? Because they look like they have normal human top halves, which would include normal human lungs. She does not have gills.
No, but she breathes on air.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing.
Yeah.
But also I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's magical realism, because what we're dealing with.
Of course, it's fine.
All the time.
We don't have to worry about the science of it all.
No, but we do need to think about it sometimes, because it's
occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very concerned about how far down their space is. Where the light should not be hitting them if they are so afraid to go to the surface.
Right. You would think they would mostly be very, very deep, far down. Yeah.
But it's also possible, and I heard this, it was in the Lord of the Rings extra bits, that one of the actors once was hey, where is the lighting coming from in this scene? And the cinematographer was the same place as the music. Which I think is also very a perfect way to explain it. Anyway. Okay, so so now we're down. Now we're down in the deep.
And we've got a concert. There's a seahorse who announces King Triton. I love the seahorse.
Iconic seahorse. Love him.
Triton also is iconic because Triton is just dramatic.
Yes.
He just has this wild entrance.
Truly has a huge entrance. He's everybody needs to look at me.
Yes.
And my sick chariot. So cool. And then Sebastian has a little chariot.
It's a little mini chariot. It's very cute. It's very cute. They're very enthusiastic about the concert, and especially about the fact that it will be Ariel, the youngest daughter's first concert. Sebastian's a little worried. He's apparently not great at making it to rehearsal and not great at making it to concerts because she is revealed dramatically to be not there.
No, she is 16 and she does not have a planner. Is she 15? No. Is she 16 or 15? Does she ever say that? Do we
I think she is. She says she's 16 because at some point she goes, I'm 16 years old. I'm not a child.
Yes. Like, yes, I'm not a child. It's like, bitch, yes, you are. Yes. Yeah. She's not there. But the sisters are incredible. I don't think that they get enough screen time, honestly, because they all have such like gorgeous, distinctive looks. Like they all have this different hair look, and each one is like more cute and fun than like the last. And I've always been like really into them, but sad that we never really get to know them more. And they all have A names, which also I can relate to because me and my 3 siblings all have E names.
Oh,
so love a naming convention. Yeah, they're so cute. And then I in preparing for this, I did reread the Hans Christian Andersen 1836 story. And in that one, there's only 6 of them, including Ariel. So I was like curious why they added another. And I think it might have just been like for the visual of like the 3-on-3 with like Ariel in the middle. I think it's probably.
Yeah, which I think very, very much kind of works, right? That it very much kind of emphasizes Ariel as a focus, and then it's extra dramatic that she is not there. She is instead trying to scavenge a shipwreck.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, she is with her buddy Flounder, who is very charming.
And we do not know what kind of fish he is, even though his name is Flounder and he's not a flounder.
He is not a flounder, right? No idea what kind of fish he is. I also like that Flounder's like, oh, it looks damp in there.
And we'll come back to this so many times, but the comedy writing in this movie is unmatched.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
So funny. There's so much like broad, silly comedy that kind of like flies under the radar of this whole entire movie. And I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Poor Flounder. He's got anxiety.
I know. I feel bad for him. And she's just like dragging him around and also like making him extra anxious because she's like, oh, you can just stay here and wait for sharks. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, what?
I know. She's such a brat.
She really is.
Bratty. She's so bratty. She's bratty to her friends. She's bratty to her family.
Yeah, she's not really a role model here.
No. Classic youngest also. Classic youngest behavior.
I'm an only child, so I can agree without judging any member of my family.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. She finds some human fun artifacts. She gets a fork and a pipe. And then a shark, which is not a human artifact, but is exciting and dramatic nonetheless. And the shark chases him for a while. She risks her life to go back for her bag of stuff.
Listen, she worked hard for that stuff.
Yeah, she's got to get the collection. Yeah. She does also risk her life to go back for Flounder.
Thank goodness.
And rescues him. Yeah, so she, is a good friend in that regard, at least.
Yes.
They managed to basically trick the shark into getting his head caught in a large round thing.
Yeah, unclear why that is sticking up. I don't know what it is
I
either.
assume it was maybe part of the ship, but I don't really know.
Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I do think that the shark is, I like made a note of that, is like kind of this like progenitor of Bruce the shark in Finding Nemo. I think it's like a very similar character design and a very similar like chasing through the wreckage scene is like very, very, very similar to that same scene in Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Which maybe I sort of recognized.
But then in Finding Nemo, Bruce has like a personality, right?
He does, yeah. So I think that's like at least like he does it. Yes. He has a personality kind of until he gets the whiff of the blood, and then he's like turns into a monster shark again. Yeah. Is just like, I gotta have it. And it's like really crazy.
Because I feel like the politics of this are interesting. Because like, so Triton is the king of the ocean, and shouldn't that mean he's also the king of sharks? But then this shark seems to not understand what's going on, and also seems to think that it's fine to eat Triton's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not exactly sure what the sentience level of sharks in this context is supposed to be, and why they are seemingly less so than other sea creatures.
Yes, I think the entire like ecosystem concept of this movie is giving us nothing.
Oh, no, not at all. It's excellent,
like, clearly,
but it also makes no sense.
Clearly, like, the mer people, they don't eat fish.
Right.
So, like, are they just all existing on kelp? But they're, like, in, like, what kind of environment are they in? Are they in, like, a tropical reef?
Yeah.
It seems like they have access to lots of different types of ocean.
Right.
Which is also confusing about, like, where this all takes place.
Yeah. The kelp-only diet would also explain why Ariel weighs, like, 12 pounds soaking wet.
Yes. I know. Well, I mean,
So
listen,
tiny.
she's like 103 pounds of pure muscle, baby. That's
Right. All that swimming.
Yeah, she's active. She's running around.
She
she's
is.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And she's got to like lug that hair all over the place. Her
Right.
gorgeous hair. That looks perfect.
She's got really
in every
good
shot.
neck muscles. Of course it's perfect, right? They, having escaped the shark, head up to the surface and meet Scuttle, the seagull. And he's chilling with a telescope, and he doesn't know how to use the telescope. It's great.
Scuttle is pure chaos energy.
Exactly.
He's so out of control. I love Scuttle. I just love him. He's so stupid. He knows nothing.
Yes, I love him, but also on this read, I'm like, Scuttle is absolutely the, like, mediocre white dude who does not actually know anything about what he's talking about, but will insist upon authoritatively mansplaining it to whatever women happen to be around.
He's like, I got an opinion about everything. He's got a lot of thoughts, a lot of things swirling around in his head. I do have this one question though about sort of the fork of it all, which is like, okay, so she finds a fork. It's drawn as a 3-pronged thing. I don't know why she doesn't think it's a trident, like a tiny trident.
That's such a good question.
I think this is the first time I've had this thought, and it was last night watching this. And I was like, how does she not? She has an extremely relevant, clear, like reference point for a 3-pronged metal instrument.
Right. So yeah, why doesn't she like, should I be wielding this?
Right. She's like, this.
Can I do magic with it?
Right. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is the first time I've only thought of it, but here we are, and now it's in your brain.
Oh, that is fascinating.
Why doesn't she think it's a trident?
She doesn't, but she has no idea what she is, and is told basically that it is a comb.
It's a comb.
Of course it is. Also is informed that the pipe is a banded bulbous snurflet, which is a musical instrument.
Which I love the narration of like all the stuff bubbling up out of it when he blows into it. I think like that like narration looks so good. Or not the narration, the what is the word for the thing?
Animation.
Animated.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
One of those weeks. Years.
But just I like love that little animated moment. I think it's really cute.
Yes. And also that she's like,
looks really
music.
Good.
Oh, I just missed a big thing tonight.
I know. That little moment of crisis. It's so sweet.
Yes, I know. She's so charming.
Oh, Ariel. Oh, Ariel. She is so charming. That's why she gets away with being a bad girl.
I know. Yeah, and it's just, I mean, she's spoiled and it's because she's so charming and she really needs boundaries. But as we'll see, the problem is that her father goes too far from zero boundaries to all the boundaries.
Yes, yeah, it's not good parenting. You're not seeing like really clear, understandable rules. It's just very much like, I'm the king, I'm in charge. Blah.
Exactly. She heads back. She is spotted by the eels Flotsam and Jetsam, and we do hear Ursula. And we get our first glimpse of Ursula, who we also learn, so I really want, like, the Ursula backstory, because she's like, this is no celebration. In my day, we had fantastical feasts when I lived in the palace. And I'm like, oh, when did you live in the palace? Like, what was that situation?
When did you live in the palace? Why are you the only one who's, like, a chimera octopus human and not like fish fin human? Like what? Like where did you come from, Ursula?
Right. So also I did not watch it, but I did Google the entire plot of the sequel, the direct-to-video sequel to The Little Mermaid. Interestingly, so it's basically the same plot, but it's about Ariel's daughter. And the villain is Ursula's sister, who is named Morgana.
Oh, interesting. We have a little Arthurian.
Yes, an interesting little Arthurian reference, and which also I think has some interesting implications about this family's relationship to Arthur. Or sorry, to Triton. Triton, Arthur, whatever.
The same.
Right.
Yeah. The guy in charge.
Yes. I'm curious. I want all of Ursula's backstory.
Yeah. I know. Where'd she come from? I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
She's absolutely amazing.
She's the greatest Disney villain. Like, in my opinion, I think she has the greatest Disney villain song. And
100%. I am obsessed with that song.
She's truly, and I wish, and I was also, because, she's like a reference to like the drag queen Divine.
Right.
Is like sort of, she's directly referenced from Divine. And Divine died like the year before that the movie was released, which makes me so sad because I think she would have really loved it and really loved like the seeing it because she's just so gorgeous. They do it so well. They just do it so well. I love it.
I know. And, it obviously is your standard Disney queer coding villains in a way that is obviously extremely problematic. But I feel like Ursula's like the one that we can like kind of reclaim.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I very much so. Ursula belongs to the queer community in every way.
Absolutely.
She is excellent. She's the best. She's the 100%. Best.
Ariel, meanwhile, is getting lectured by Triton and Sebastian, and Flounder, bless his heart, tries to stick up for her and ends up revealing the whole situation that they were in this ship and that they then went to the surface. And Dad is mad. And this is where, by the way, where she goes like, I'm 16 years old. I'm not a child.
I love it.
Which absolutely, like, I remember watching this when I was, 5. And being like, yeah, Ariel, you're a grown-up. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm watching this and being like, no, you're a child. You need to be parented.
Oh yes. Very, very much. Very much so. She's not. But she's sort of, I don't know, she, like, why wouldn't she think that she is, like, grown? Like, she is oftentimes treated like she is. Like, she just goes wherever she wants all the time and, like, doesn't really have any consequences.
Right.
just like gets yelled at. Like that's like the punishment.
And that's it. Now the fact that, this is the first step in more active parenting is that she gets a full-time, albeit fairly ineffective, adult chaperone in the form of Sebastian.
Oh my gosh. Which is such like a hysterical. I love that exchange between him and Triton. Sebastian's like, if she was my daughter, I would never get away with anything. Like, you gotta be strict, you gotta have boundaries. And Triton is just like, yeah, you should do it. For me.
You should parent for me.
You should parent Ariel. Like, it's so silly.
Like, sir, what do you do all day?
Himself. I mean, what
like that you can't parent your child.
I know. We never really see him, like, doing the kingly busy. Like, no one's petitioning him for, like, land or, like, whatever. We have no idea.
Like, does he, like, make judgments? Like, does he have to, like, handle the ocean infrastructure? Like, what is his job?
Right. What? We don't know.
We do not. We absolutely do not. And we don't know really how the, like, that works in terms of, like, the humans either, because, like, Eric also does not seem to meaningfully have a job.
No, he does not. So are we getting to...
So we're getting to part of your world.
Part of your world. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Secret cave, and she's got cool stuff, and she sings the pretty song.
And I think, like, for a second we have to talk about, like, collection culture.
Yes.
Like, I was a very avid collector as a child.
Yeah.
Of, like, all kinds of shit. Like, you get the Beanie Babies or whatever.
The, like, tchotchkes and whatnot.
But, like, also tchotchkes. Yes, like, I had a little collection, and everything was just, like, miniatures and, like, different things. And I would line them up on a shelf because I was not diagnosed with OCD yet. And, like,
I had a lot of, like, little statues of dogs.
Yeah, sombrero horses, like, like that sort of, like, energy of, like, I have a rock collection, or I have a collection of leaves, or, like, so I love her just, like, it's, to me, her collection cave is on par with Belle's library.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's just, like, here's this incredible space, it's just yours, and you're just filling it with shit you like. And that doesn't have any practical use to you because you are a mermaid.
Right.
And
but I also love that,
so
like, this is, it's her hobby, but also that, like, she's trying to learn something. I mean, she's not very successful because her main source is Scuttle, who is bullshit, but she is this, like, kind of, like, pseudo, like, anthropologist of human culture.
Yes. She's very into it. She really wants to know. No. She just wants to know more and more and more.
Yeah.
I wish, she was able to read those books, which, like, how you got books in the ocean, girl.
There's a lot of stuff. Like, there are entire books. There is a full-on painting, which I will talk about later because it is a real painting.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I really love the way this movie kind of just, like, doesn't access reality in a lot of ways.
Yes. It's very much like, don't worry about it in terms of a lot of these practicalities.
It's like, yes, you know what? She does have books. Does she know how to read? We have no idea. If she knew how to read, would it be English? We don't know. Would it be Spanish?
The contract is in English.
Yes, the contract is in English, and she signs her name.
Yes,
in English characters.
Yes, she does.
In cursive, also.
Yeah. Yeah.
She really
She's got a perfect, she has a much
nice...
nicer signature than I do, honestly.
Yes, very much so. Her signature is gorgeous.
She has a lovely signature.
What does she sign? What does she have to know? Why does she have to know her signature? Oh my god, I love it.
Well, I mean, I guess if she was going to be, I don't know, if the idea was that, like, one day, okay, if this was reality and, like, real structure of society, like, princesses might expect to one day have, like, land in various kinds of duties and have to, at some point, have some kind of legal function, potentially. Yeah.
Is she gonna get, like, married off to, like, another kingdom in the
That's,
ocean?
like, such a good question.
Eventually? Like...
I mean, well, yeah, because it's also, like, there are 7 daughters. Ariel's the youngest, and she's already 16. And none of the older girls seem to be married. And unless mermaids reproduce much more quickly than humans, which is certainly a possibility, the oldest has to be in her 20s already.
Right. I think especially with, like, the design of Ariel, where her, like, fish body meets her human body, like, she, you know, I think you can see the part where, like, were she to have a uterus, it would, you know, it would be there, like, behind her belly button. She has a belly button.
Right. But so, okay, but, like, do mermaids lay eggs? Like, there's a lot of questions here.
I think mermaids do lay eggs. And I think that they would be designed to not have belly buttons.
Yeah.
That is how I feel about it. So I do think that her sisters could be closer. I don't think that they're necessarily all, like, one a year.
Yeah, true. Year.
Like, they could be, do they come in, like, just triplets that are, like, little
right.
Tadpoles?
Maybe they're, like, 2 sets of triplets, and then she's her own situation for whatever reason.
Right. And we have no reference to the mother.
Do mermaids actually reproduce asexually?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, but then you have, like, Ponyo. So, like, the movie Ponyo from the Studio Ghibli film. Ponyo is, like, kind of, like, always referring to her father. And her father is sort of this, like, actualized, like, being. But then, like, it turns out her mother is just, like, the ocean. And, like, a beautiful woman kind of appears.
Right.
Who is, like, the ocean. So it could be that. I don't know. There's so many different ways it could go.
Yeah.
So she's got her stuff and we love it. A bird cage.
And then Sebastian reveals himself by accident by falling all over everything embarrassingly.
Yes.
Then he's like, all right, we've got to get out of here. It's too deep down here. You need some, whatever the mermaid equivalent of fresh air is. But then she sees a ship and fireworks and goes to check on what is happening up there.
You can't stop her.
You can't stop her. Okay, also, this is where I need to talk about my favorite character in this movie, who is Max, the Old English sheepdog. Because Max is a very, very good boy.
Oh, he's so good.
He's
so
boy.
Cute. He's like
so
bronzy.
Cute.
He's got that gigantic nose, like,
I know,
that, like, exists outside of the rest of his body.
And he's a very good judge of character.
He is. He knows. Like, Max gets it.
Yeah. And so he immediately likes Ariel. Okay, it's the traditional Disney thing, right? That she sees Eric and she's immediately falls in love with him. And obviously it's ridiculous. But I feel like this is the one that, like, I always was like, yeah, no, I mean, I feel like this totally makes sense. And it's not anything about Eric, because Eric is kind of boring. It's that I absolutely can understand basically falling into love at first sight with a person because they have an extremely cute dog.
Yes. I mean, I think, yes, that he, like, clearly loves. I do, like, stan Eric. I think he has iconic eyebrows. I think he's very beautiful. And I do think that his look is also really solid. It's, like, very, very clear, iconic look of, like, here's this, like, guy who's, like, clearly, like, pretty clean, pretty, like, cleaned up, like, princey, but he wants to be, like, out in the world. And you've got his little, like, pecs showing. And
he, like, thinks he's, like, a man of the people, which is very sweet. Like, he just wants to, like, hang with the sailors.
He does. Like, he doesn't, he's, like, no, I'm not going to make that comparison. I was going to say, like, Prince Harry, but that's not what we want to do with Eric. But yeah, he is, like, he just, like, and he's clearly, like, good at sailing, you know, when things come down to it. Like, he takes charge of that wheel and his forearms are, like, thick and gorgeous.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, no, I'm here for Eric.
I also think that, in my opinion, he's the first Disney prince with Disney princess eyes.
Oh,
visually.
Interesting. He does have very good eyes.
Yes, he's got those big old Disney princess eyes. Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty has like a little bit more of a personality, but then the prince from Cinderella, the prince from Snow White, like they're kind of like bland. Like you don't really get a lot from them. And Eric is the first one I think who's really like,
he has a personality compared to most Disney princes. Yeah,
he's like the proto Aladdin.
Right.
Sort of like building,
but he doesn't get a song.
No, he doesn't get a song, unfortunately. He doesn't get a song. Poor Eric. He's got a little tin whistle though.
Yeah, he plays his little like flute thing, and and he hangs out with his dog. He just seems like he has like a kind of nice, happy, chill life.
Yes, and I think the fact that Grimsby like in this scene is sort of like, bro, you got to get married. Like this is important. I was like, why would he? Like.
I feel like Grimsby is very into him acting like a prince in ways that Eric is not into. Yeah. And it's like obviously like the getting married, but it's also like, here is a giant, like aggressively large princely statue of you that you clearly do not want or like. And this is my birthday present to you, which obviously you are going to hate. Like if you've met this person for 2 seconds, you will know that he will hate this.
Yeah, he's like not into it. He's a man of the people.
He is. He's a man of the people. He doesn't want this, like, big, like, statue where he's, like, dramatically standing with a shield.
He's just a sailor boy.
Yeah. He's just a sailor boy, and he likes his dog.
He loves his dog. Oh, Eric.
Then the storm comes.
Storm rolls in. Hell yeah. Oh my god.
It's very dramatic. At some point, and Eric has to go back to the ship to save Max because the dog Max is scared and he has to get the dog to jump. But then he is stuck on the boat when it completely blows up, as boats do. And
his survival of the explosion
is absolutely ridiculous.
And that, like, his skin is like, he has no burns. He's just got, like, his boots were blown off. And
Yep, he's just totally fine. His shirt is, like, slightly shredded, but not, like, so shredded that it's, showing anything that would be inappropriate to children.
Yeah, he's not giving us, like, a shirtless, like, romantic novel hero vibe. It's just...
Right, it's like we get, like, just, like, a little hint of pecs, and we get, like, a little extra hint of the arm muscles, and that's basically it.
I love
Ariel rescues him, of course.
Yes. Oh my gosh, when Scuttle says he can't make out a heartbeat on the foot.
While lifting up
again, peak comedy. It's so funny.
Yes.
It's such an unbelievable joke.
Yes. And Scuttle also, when looking at the boat before everything, went kaboom, basically, she's like, he's so beautiful. And he's like, he looks kind of hairy and slobbery to me. And I'm like, the fact that this seagull does not know the difference between a human and a dog. I feel like this should be your clue that maybe all of the information he has given you is complete bullshit.
Oh my god.
Like, I feel like you should be starting to figure this out.
Yeah. Just, like, maybe don't believe him.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, hang out, but, like, maybe don't get the information, because he doesn't have it.
Maybe, like, double check those citations.
Yeah. with your many books that are in the sea.
With your many books. And once she goes up above the sea with her many more credible sources in terms of her anthropological investigations.
Oh my god. So then she does have her iconic swirling hair moment on the rock. And the wave splash, which is like, what little child did not want to, like, try and recreate that at the beach? That was like, we gotta find a big rock. I gotta get all my siblings behind me, and they gotta splash me while I, like, do down dog, or do, like, up dog on, like, a rock.
Yeah. And then she, like, sings, like, Part of Your World again. It's like, oh, so good.
The reprise, it's so gorgeous.
Yes.
I love it.
And Ursula is very smug about...
She cannot wait. She can't wait to get her tentacles wrapped around that little tiny bitch.
And add her to her little garden.
She can't wait. Oh, she can't wait. She's so excited.
So she's sort of mooning around. She's singing. Her sisters are like, Daddy, she's in love. It's very pretty. Sebastian is very worried. This is where we have Under the Sea, which is his attempt to convince her that actually maybe you should just have fun and chill out here and not be in love with this dude who lives on land.
Which, an incredible song.
Incredible.
So good.
He is great.
It's so fucking fun. The animation is so silly and fun.
Yes.
You, like, love all these, like, fish characters that are introduced.
Yes, and, like, he is so skilled. Like, he is really able to, like, command and properly use a wide-ranging orchestra.
Yes, he has, like, a deep knowledge of, like, what, like, these, like, musician fish are capable of.
Exactly.
And it's very cool, I think. And it also, like, the fact that she leaves during the song also reminded me of in The Lion King when
Yes.
Can't Wait to Be King, and then they distract Zazu and they run away. And so being, like, able to escape during a song distraction is very fun. It's a very fun device.
It's like, oh, this is what the song is for.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The song is a cover for her to leave and go back to her cave. And Flounder gives her a beautiful gift of the statue.
Which also is totally fine. The statue has not a chip on it at this point.
How did Flounder get it in there? Like,
that is also a good question.
Big brutes did he hire to, like, push and, like, also, like, just get it in? Like, I don't think it would have even fit through the little hole in the cave.
No, how did it get there?
How is it in there? I get magic. Maybe Flounder has some magic that we don't really know about.
Hidden magic, hidden strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian, meanwhile, is taken to Triton, and Triton is like, Ariel? In love? And Sebastian just immediately is like, I tried to stop her, sir! I said humans are bad, they are evil! Humans? What about humans?
Oh my gosh. Everybody's, like, putting their foot in their mouth fucking constantly in this.
I know. It's amazing.
In this story. That's how the entirety of this plot is moved forward.
Exactly.
Like, people saying shit they shouldn't.
So at that point, having given everything away, he then also leads him to Ariel's cave, which, come on, dude, come on.
Like, be fucking cool. Just act like you don't know where she is.
Just be cool, yeah. Like, you don't have to do that, too. Like, you already fucked up once.
Yes.
So he leads Triton to Ariel's cave. Triton is mad, and in a real, like, bad dad, see dad moment, he wrecks all of her stuff.
Yeah, he's shitty.
Not good. It's not good
bad.
Parenting.
No, it's very, very bad. It's very mean.
Yes. Yeah.
And it isn't teaching her a lesson. It's making her
It is not. Exactly. Yeah, no, poor parenting. And it's also, again, that he's going from 0 to, like, extreme punishment.
Yes. He cannot get his temper under control, which, like, I get, like, he's, like, semi-godlike, probably, right? Isn't, like...
Yeah.
Triton is, like a lesser god in, like, the
I
Greek
think
canon.
so.
But still.
Divine-ish, but yeah.
Like, you're not Zeus, bitch. Like, just get
your
act together. Like,
chill the hell out.
Yeah. Like, really, what are the stakes? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the stakes are high. He loves his daughter.
They don't want contact between the human world and the mer world.
Don't.
It's dangerous and bad. He thinks humans are evil. He's just bigoted, really, is what it is.
Yes. He is big. He's very bigoted. And it's hard to tell, like, what, like, those power dynamics sort of, like, would play out.
Well, they're weird, right? Because he hates humans because they eat fish, which is correct. But the humans have no idea that fish are, like, sentient beings, and they have no idea even whether, or, like, they don't think Triton is real, right? Like, they talk about him, but they talk about him as if he is a legend.
Right.
Like, and there's clearly some people who think that's real, but also plenty of people who are like, no, you're dumb. I mean, I feel like the humans aren't actually doing anything. I mean, you know, humans obviously are terrible in a lot of ways, but in this particular situation, I feel like they're not knowingly doing anything wrong. Like, they're not trying to, like, kill off this other species and, like, make war on this other kingdom.
Right. It's not like the sort of, like, Pocahontas situation of, like, the Disney Pocahontas where, like, both sides are bad. Just, like, how that plays out. Just, like, oh, like, they're savages. Like, no, they're savages. Like, that's not, like, the dynamic here. This is just, like, him being like, like, there should be at least a line about, like, oh, you should, like, we have to be kept a secret from them.
Right. And it's also, like, have you ever talked to a human? I mean, I don't know. It's also, like, it would be nice if there was more explanation, especially because we don't have Ariel's mother. It would be like, oh, like, if she was, like, killed by a human or something like that, at least would provide, I think, a more understandable explanation.
Yes, I think that would be the explanation for, like, this type of story.
But it's not there.
No.
The last thing destroyed is, of course, the statue of Eric, and she's got his little face.
Yes, the iconic line, "But Daddy, I love him."
Yeah.
But Daddy, I love him.
Daddy, I love him.
That is like the big teenager energy.
I know, right? And it's also like
right
you're 16
there.
years old and you have never had a conversation with him, girl.
It's true, but you know what? She loves him.
She does.
She loves it. Like her idea of like what love can be, she loves him. And
yes.
I remember that feeling.
She absolutely thinks that she loves him. Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. She loves love, I think, too.
She does.
You know?
She does. And then the eels turn up.
Yes.
And they're like, ooh.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
If there was
We're apparently not going to be in the live action. They're like being cut out of the live action story.
Ooh.
I know.
That's so sad. I love Flotsam and Jetsam.
I know. I think that they're incredible and very underrated.
Yeah.
They're
Also,
so
like,
cool.
villains need sidekicks.
I know. So I don't know. Maybe they have a different sidekick in mind.
Yeah,
but...
she needs like her person is the wrong word because they're eels, but like she needs her.
Yeah,
she
her like body man. Yeah, her Kronk. They're very convincing.
They are.
And they get her over there.
They manage to convince her, and Sebastian and Flounder see her, and Sebastian's like, "Come on, you can't do this," and she's like, "Oh, why don't you tell my father? You're good at that." And it's like, that's a good singer. It's a good singer.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. She's quick.
Yeah. So we get to Ursula's lair, which is clearly inside some kind of creature with large teeth, which is significantly larger than any of them and also significantly larger than the shark. What is it? Is it like
it's sick
dragon? I don't know, but it's great.
Yeah, I think it's like prehistoric maybe. It's like, a dinosaur skeleton that was like perfectly preserved in an upright position.
And we get Poor Unfortunate Souls, the best song in Disney history.
It's so stunning. That song is incredible. It gives you so much story. It gives you so much humor, like body language. Just like the delivery of that line is so important to culture in general, I think.
Yes, like she is just excellent.
Yes.
And it does such a good job at simultaneously like telegraphing that obviously she's evil, but also explaining why she would be compelling and why Ariel would go for this. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. It convinces me. I'm like, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm like,
what do you have for me?
Fair enough, yeah. There is some fat shaming, which should be noted, right? That's her kind of example that she gives of one of her good deeds, is that she's got this couple, and like basically like one of them is like a woman who is slightly overweight, and the other one is like a guy who is like
a shrimpy guy.
Yeah. And she like makes them into like stereotypical like Disney couple.
Yeah, it's like very much like this song is like giving you both. Like it's giving you like that like body negativity, but then giving Ursula a lot of body power. Yes. Like that she is sort of this like big person, and that is like part of what gives her power.
Yeah, and like the way she does body language, and she's like, my like giant octopus body is also sexy. Like it's great.
Yes, yeah. She like really like knows who she is, but then she's also like it's kind of like it's really giving you both. It's giving you both things. Yeah. But at the same time, I guess like not to like dig in too deep, but like she doesn't necessarily make like a commentary on like this mer woman is fat and
right.
If she was thin she would get the man. She's sort of saying like this is what you want, and what you want might not be the best thing for you, but here you go. And
in fact it isn't, because they both end up being plankton or whatever her weird situation is.
Yeah, so I guess like the moral is like love yourself or you'll be a seaweed shrimp.
Someone couldn't pay the price.
Yeah, once or twice. It's happened a lot, babe. This is your whole deal.
Just once or twice. She will, of course, be human for 3 days, at which point Eric will have to give her the kiss of true love. She will turn back into a mermaid and belong to me.
Oh, I know. Oh, God, yes.
3 days. Easy.
3 days. 3 days. You better do it. I mean, but like we also don't know, like if like Eric is like 18, like he's probably also like ready to fall in love in 3 days.
Eric would have been here for the kiss of true love. If she had been able to explain her correct identity to him, he would have been like immediate. That would have happened in like an hour.
They would have gotten married the next day. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We would have been fine.
She's convincing. She gets Ariel to do it.
Yeah, and with the price is her voice.
Her voice, her beautiful voice.
Ooh. I know, your voice. Your voice.
Yes, your voice. Oh, Max in the background. Oh my gosh.
This is Opie, who is also a very good girl. Opie.
Yeah.
So yes, she is convinced. She signs her contract. I am going to be talking a lot about contracts later because I think this movie itself has some brilliant commentary on pre-modern contract culture. And upon her signing, the spell is done and she is inconveniently transformed right at the bottom of the ocean. And inexplicably, Flounder and Sebastian, a small fish and a small crab, are able to carry her up to the surface before she dies.
She's like literally never kicked legs. It's unclear if she still has the capacity to breathe underwater or not.
No, I don't think she does.
Like, that's never right, but like it's confusing as to why, because we have no reason to believe that like she couldn't. Like, nothing about her upper body changes.
True.
But I guess something has changed.
Yeah.
Maybe she had like gills we couldn't see. Or something.
Right. It's like really subtle gills.
Yeah. In the original story, she is instructed to go up to the castle. And her transformation takes place up there. Which
would have been more convenient. But I guess Ursula is, like, messing with her, so, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, she's like, if she dies... Which is also like, I'm like, Ursula, I think you want to keep her alive, right? That's the whole extortion things that's happening. A little bit, at least, right?
If she just, like, passed out and sank back, she would just be like, well, guess you're a plankton a little sooner than I expected.
I love that Disney has to then, like, kind of, like, handle the fact that she's, like, Winnie the Pooh in it. That she's just, like, bottomless for, like, a decent amount of time.
Right.
And they kind of, like, play around it. They don't really address it. Nobody's really talking about it. But it is, like, very clearly happening.
Like, right, yeah, like, going commando under, like, a rough ship sail tied up with a rope. Like, that's the outfit she ends up with, poor thing.
The outfit is wild.
It's hilarious.
I was like doing a little reading about sort of like the outfits of this film, and there was a blog that called that her Project Runway look, which is very funny. It's just like, here's what you got, throw it together. Oh my gosh. I also love that, like, sort of as she swirls around and gets the rock, like the whole thing gets like magically simplified and it turns into just like kind of like, just kind of like a soft muslin dress with some like ropey trim. That's
as
just like magically
to a sail tied up
her body
with ropes. Right. Yeah, and the fact that she did not flash Eric is like nothing short of miraculous.
Yes.
It's like, that's a way to get the kiss of true love, huh?
I know, she also like takes off her mermaid bra, which I guess she would have to. But confusing as to why.
Yeah.
She can't wear her cool mermaid bra.
It would seem suspicious.
I love her mermaid bra. It's really stunning. I guess I haven't like talked about that yet. But yeah, and then lo and behold, the prince shows up.
Yeah, well, because Max finds her and also herds Eric to her like a good herding dog. I also have a herding dog. Mine is an Australian Shepherd mix, and have often seen her, herd people when she's like, you are my people and you should all be in the same place. And it's like, this is what Max is doing. Such a good point.
I know. And Max loves Ariel, which like I feel like should be all Eric needs. To know.
Exactly.
It's like, like my dog likes her, like then that should be the one for me. Like that's what you know.
If you just listened to the dog, then it would have been fine. And at first he was like, you look familiar, are you the girl of my dreams? And then she's like, nods, and then she's like, and he's like, oh, but you don't have a voice, so you can't be that person. And it's like, it is very contrived that nobody can figure this out.
It's very contrived. It's like, has no one ever lost their voice before in this
Yes!
Does laryngitis, like, not exist? Also, like, you found this girl on the beach, like, maybe she
like,
can't
right
talk
next
she's
to
in shock. Right?
Yeah.
There's so many reasons that she would have to, like, not be speaking, but still be that woman.
Especially because she also, like, when he's like, you're the one, she's like, yeah, she's like, yes.
She's like, yes.
Yeah, like, she's nodding. She's like, thumbs up. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, my God. Like, she is doing some solid nonverbal communication, and he is just not here for it.
He's very clueless.
Yeah. Also, we know that she can at least write her name, so why can't she write something?
Right. I know. Like, she writes her name well.
Very frustrating.
You would assume in English characters.
Yes.
He's very stupid.
He is. He's very dumb.
He doesn't know shit.
Yeah. Eric the himbo.
But he is charmed by her.
Yes. He brings her to the palace. She has her bath. They get to dinner. And I love Grimsby is, like, immediately enthusiastic about Ariel, despite the fact that she, like, per Scuttle's instructions, is, like, brushing her hair with a fork and, like, blows smoke, like, heavily into his face. And he still is, like, 100% here for this, which I feel like really highlights how desperate he is for Eric to get married.
Which is also wild because, like, they don't know who she is. Like,
yes!
I don't think, like, is a prince gonna marry, like, a mysterious, unaffiliated orphan? Like,
my theory is desperation, because at this point we've indicated that there's at least one princess that he is, like, turned down. And so at this point I feel like he's maybe freaking out. So he's like, you seem to like this woman more than you've ever liked a lady before. Maybe you should marry her. Is she a complete, like, stranger that we, like, picked up off the, like, out of the sea and she can't talk? That's fine. That's really better than nothing. I'm pretty sure she's got a uterus and that's what we care about.
He's really bringing, like, mother-in-law desperate for grandchildren energy to this. Like, that is what, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know who she is. Oh my god.
Don't worry about it. Just marry her.
God. Just marry her. Just marry her.
Yes.
We know he should.
We know who she is. Yeah, we know that this is a great idea.
That this would be an incredible alliance, an alliance never seen before in vaguely Mediterranean Europe, wherever they are.
Exactly. A world-changing alliance, arguably. We have the song Les Poissons, it's Chef Louis.
Which I also fucking love. I loved as a child.
Yes.
I think it's incredible. It's such an incredible song.
And of course, then there's the question, like, is he French? Is his, like, intense Frenchness, is that a sign that everybody is French or that no one else is French?
I believe that it is a sign that no one else is French.
Right.
That is what I think, because he's, like, so, like, clearly different. And he has been, like, imported or, like, sent as a gift from France to Italy, wherever they are.
Vaguely Mediterranean Europe.
Yeah. No, I think that he is French and no one else is French. I don't think that they are French.
And I think the, like, animation of the scene is excellent.
It's very chaotic. It's very fun. It's just so fun. He's just so funny, and his mustache is so out of control. I did do a little, a little dig into, like, chef uniform history. And yes, and I did learn that, like, the chef's hat and the double-breasted jacket that you, like, are sort of classically French chefing wear was invented in the 1820s and then popularized in the 1870s. So it kind of does actually, like, live in the space of this movie a little bit, which I was surprised to see that was actually somewhat accurate.
That's older than I might have guessed. It's
me too.
Little late for my proposed dating for this movie, but overall I think works.
It kind of, like, is, like, happening in that space.
Yes. They finally get served dinner, except for Grimsby, because Grimsby gets served Sebastian, who does in fact wander off his plate.
Comedy, love it.
Yeah. And also at best would have been raw, so.
Yeah, like, that crab is still alive.
That crab is alive and raw.
Very alive. Oh my gosh. Louis is a mess. You gotta wonder, like, is this the first time he's gone completely off the rails? Probably not.
Right, like, this is just Louis having just, like, this is, like, I feel like the midpoint of Louis', like, complete nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
And we just didn't see the first half.
Yes. I mean, we need the Ursula backstory, but we also need that Louis backstory.
Yes. Maybe they're related.
Like, oh my gosh.
Maybe he tried to cook the eels, and they were like, absolutely not.
And she cursed him with madness.
Yeah.
With, like, the vengeful spirit to murder all crabs, no matter what, even if they're not even a good crab to eat. He's so tiny. Why would he
instilled him with this, like, desperate need to, like, butcher these animals and, like,
butcher
that's what they deserve.
Everything from the sea, no matter what.
Yes, because he also does seem to primarily and almost exclusively cook fish. They have a very fish-heavy diet. Maybe it's Lent.
Yes. It probably is Lent. It's probably, like, to a certain degree, a seafaring kingdom, a seafaring nation. Just a lot of fish.
Grimsby also suggests that Eric take Ariel on a tour of the kingdom, which he does, and I distinctly remember that I had the Ariel doll, and I distinctly remember her having this dress. The, like, kind of, like, blue dress with, like, a weirdly located bodice.
Yes, I think that like this outfit falls into sort of like 50s inspired Renaissance fair wear of like that, like you also see Aurora wearing something similar. You see like Belle wear something kind of similar. It's sort of that like Ren Fair wench, like nobody's really like taking this too seriously.
Right.
And she looks super cute.
She looks very cute, and she's also very charming even though she can't talk.
She's so charming. Day 2 of legs, she's already wearing pumps.
Right? I'm impressed. Like, I can't wear pumps, and I've had legs for 34 years, so.
I was really impressed. I was like, girl, you're already in those high heels.
Yeah.
On cobblestone.
I know!
Like, give her a flat. Jesus Christ.
It's cute. They see a puppet show. They dance. Sebastian and Flounder and Scuttle are like, why aren't you making out right now? And it's like, whoa, like... I mean, I know they do in the context only have 3 days and they've got to get a move on. But in, like, reality, it's like, okay, like, people are allowed to, like, get to know each other. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And then we get to, like, one of the other very iconic songs.
Kiss the Girl while they're voting, which is beautiful. I feel like the consent implications of this song are kind of not fantastic.
I'll have to, like... Listen, I'll have to, like, read the actual lyrics.
So it's this, you know you want her. Mm-hmm. Maybe she wants you. There's only one way to ask her, which is just to, like, surprise kiss her. It's not to ask her with words.
Can I kiss you?
Can I kiss you? To which she could nod, even if she is not able to verbally consent. There are plenty of ways to non-verbally consent.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's a good song though.
It is a good song. Yeah. And again, we've got Sebastian really showing off his skills, and especially because like this is an entirely new environment because this is, I think, freshwater fish and birds, etc.
Yes, I was concerned about that. I was like, I don't think that like saltwater beings like Flounder or Sebastian can be comfortably in like freshwater. So like maybe
we're
it's
definitely
like
skimming over that. Maybe it's brackish.
Maybe it's like the delta. You're close to the delta, like where this like sort of like body of water meets the sea. But it also like there's freshwater turtles in there, so I think it's just not. I think
it's one of the things that we're not worrying too much about, right?
But yeah, he has total command over the space, which is really stunning.
He does.
He really nails the song.
Yes. And I do also love that it like begins with like Scuttle being like, I know what to do. This like mediocre white dude. And then Sebastian is like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're not doing this. I'm the one who has talent and expertise here. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. Scuttle's just so gung-ho. He's like, I'm just about this energy that he does sing a little bit within the song itself and also gets silenced.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Also, like, really quick, when he's trying to guess her name, and Sebastian is like, Ariel. And he goes, Ariel? And I'm like, why didn't you also say Ariel?
Ariel. Her name is Ariel.
Like immediately like Americanizes it.
I also love the selections of names that he suggests. He's like Mildred is the first.
Which like shout out to my high school friend Mildred. Like people act like that's like the worst name ever, and she was amazing.
I feel like it's just really old fashioned, but not from this time. From like in this time it would have been very newfangled, but in our time it seems very old fashioned, and so I feel like it's this name that you just think of as like grandmother name.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. They're about to kiss. She does have some real like come hither eyes, speaking of nonverbal form of consent.
Yeah, it's really happening.
But their kiss is of course interrupted by Flotsam and Jetsam. And so Ursula has got to take matters into her own tentacles.
I know. She says like, oh, this girl's better than I thought.
Little tramp. Which, not supporting the slut shaming, but Ursula is saying like little tramp is excellent.
It's so funny. It's so funny. It really is funny. It makes me
She's like, I didn't expect her to listen to me about this body language stuff. Come on.
I know. I was like, she's got some skills. Like, Ariel's good at this. She's good at seduction. She's good at nonverbal seduction. It doesn't help that she is just incredibly beautiful.
Right, yeah. I mean, the fact that she is absolutely stunning and has constantly perfect hair. I mean, could have something to do with it, but So Ursula transforms, And meanwhile, Grimsby has basically has been talking to Eric, and Eric is basically convinced he's going to stop worrying about this mystery lady, and he's going to go for Ariel, and he tosses away his flute, and then he hears the singing. And also, in addition to that, she double cheats by, clearly also, bewitches him. So there's, a light that comes out of the seashell necklace, which I also definitely had a point in my life where, I got, a seashell off the beach and, wore, a seashell necklace.
Yes. I love that. Oh, my
gosh. That was definitely a phase that I had in my, early teens.
I will enchant people with my little magical.
This is my enchanting seashell. Thank you.
Amazing. I love it.
So they hear about the wedding, and they go over and tell Ariel, and again, bless her heart, Ariel is, really excited, because, she, I guess, missed the memo that you should, you're supposed to, tell somebody if you're planning on marrying them the following day. So she's just Eric's getting married tomorrow. It's gotta be me, right?
Right, I know. Oh, my God. Poor girl. I'm so sorry, baby.
Yes.
It's not.
Of course it isn't. It's Vanessa.
Love Vanessa as a villain name.
Vanessa. And she's got a good look. I mean, because she's mean brunette Ariel is her aesthetic.
Yes, she is.
Yes, and is also wearing this dress, which is one stage up from underwear.
Yeah, well, it's she's a little saucier because she's got the sort of lacing in the front, in front of the boobies. It's just a little bit cuter and sexier than Ariel's, on the town outfit.
But you can also tell that Eric has completely lost his personality. So it is, I will note, also obvious that he has been bewitched and is not just an idiot.
Yeah, he's pretty he's a man of action. He's kind of vivacious. You'd think they would have noticed if he was just
yes, why isn't it? Because he's just we'll be married by tomorrow at that sunset. The boat leaves,
and no one's
the boat leaves.
Are you
okay?
okay?
You okay, buddy?
I guess that comes in of does he just have this princely power that you can't really say no to him or question what's going on or question what
Grimsby
he
questions him and challenges him all the time.
I know.
I mean, maybe it's that Grimsby secretly is a little well, you're finally acting like a prince is supposed to, so...
Right, yeah, maybe he's you've finally grown up and stopped being interesting or funny or childlike.
This is the first time he also has good posture, because Eric, I feel has a real kind of slouching, very, he's always very relaxed. Yeah, and here he's standing ramrod straight. For the only time is when he's bewitched, is the only time he is standing perfectly straight.
Yeah. No, I think that he could be more convincingly bewitched. I think that Ursula does have the power. So it was really kind of on her to not do a spell.
Yeah, I feel she's at this point, she's I don't have time, I don't care. We just have to get this in and get this out, and basically she also does really just need to delay.
Yes.
For 12 hours essentially, if that. Yeah. They're on our very Baroque wedding boat. And Ariel's crying, and then Scuttle, for once, is the hero, because Scuttle goes and is flying past the boat, and hears Vanessa singing her mean song.
I love her mean song.
And she also says, "I will look divine," which I'm reference.
I know. Oh my god, I love it.
Yes.
It's so good. Yes. And Scott, yes. He sees what's going on.
And in the mirror, she is Ursula. So it's,
which is so cool.
We've got a clear smoking gun proof. It's not just she seems weird.
She seems weird. We have no idea where she came from. She's also fully unaffiliated to any major family or country in the region.
Don't worry about it.
And I love I remember as a kid being really obsessed with Scuttle's trying to deliver the news to them. And he sort of can't get it out. He cannot speak. The watch,
the witch, the mirror,
which was watching in the mirror. It's very wild. I remember thinking that was really good comedy.
Yes,
it kind of is.
Yeah, fun. No, and he's excellent, and it's Scuttle is a very solid comedic performance, especially in this scene. Sebastian takes charge. He's going to go get Triton. Flounder is going to get Ariel to the boat, and Scuttle is in charge of spoiling that wedding.
Which is put this pure being of chaos into action.
Yes,
and he really nails it. He can also command a room in the way that Sebastian can.
Yes,
but
can command it for different things. Sebastian can command a room for beauty, and Scuttle can command a room for chaos.
Yes. Yes! I love the chaos scene. I love all these animals just like wigging out.
Like
I
the
love
seals are excellent.
And her full face.
Yes.
Full face started like...
Yeah, I love like the seal bouncing her up and down.
Yes! Oh my god, it's so funny. She also weighs like 45 pounds soaking wet.
Of course. And of course, so Max has always hated her, and she kicks Max in the face, which is clearly the worst thing Ursula does in this entire movie. Clearly.
It is. They are really like, don't be on her side.
Right? Right?
Kicks a dog.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you kicked a dog in the face with heels.
Right. It's like, oh,
My
you
God.
thought she was charming? No, she bad.
No,
She
no.
gonna die.
Yeah, that's like Ursula's like one non-redeemable moment, just kicking Max in the face.
I know.
Otherwise, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get your vendetta, whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god, Ursula. Yeah.
Yes.
She's bad.
But Max is then the final real hero, because Max is the one who bites her on the ass at the perfect time. And, you know, Grimsby is, like, trying to hold back Max, but maybe not that hard. And Max is also, like Grimsby is no match for Max. And so he gets away, and he does his nice, like, butt bite, and that is when that, like, the necklace flies off, and it smashes, and Ariel gets her voice back, and can be like, yo, it was me all along, come on, you idiot. I mean, she's like, but, you know, in my version.
I know. Oh my god, girl. Thank God. She got her voice back, but she didn't make it. They just barely
They just missed it by like 30 seconds. He starts to kiss her. She turns into a mermaid. Vanessa turns back into Ursula.
She turns into a mermaid and she kind of just like holds up her hands in like a shrug. She's like, like, sorry.
Yeah, she's like, tried to tell you there was a thing, but...
Oh,
and Eric, you know, to his credit, is just like, actually takes all this in stride. And it's just like, yeah, no, I mean, okay, whatever. She's a mermaid and there's this weird sea witch and I almost married the weird sea witch and that's fine. I'm gonna go get back my girlfriend.
Yeah, he's very action focused. He's very action oriented. He's not gonna like deal too much with like the emotions or the complications right now. Maybe he never will. Probably he never will.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, you know, because like I feel like there would be like the rom-com version of this where it would be like he would be like mad at her for like an hour and would be like, why didn't she tell me?
Yes, exactly.
Why did she lie to me?
No, he jumps right in. He jumps right in.
And Trident also comes right to the rescue. He tries to just break the contract with his trident. And she's like, nope, can't do that. Legal. Binding, completely unbreakable.
Yeah, that is an incredible contract. Her magic is very strong.
Right? The power of contracts.
Very strong magic. Yes.
Yes.
It is.
Contracts have power.
I love it.
I'm like leaning into
my
they have their little
they have their little like they have their little fight. They have their little sort of like let's talk about this, but they're not having it.
And he agrees to change the terms of the contract such that now she gets him, which was a dumb idea because immediately that means he turns into a plankton. She gets his crown. She gets the trident. She becomes very large.
That is scary. It's
scary. Big Ursula and her voice like gets deeper.
Oh my god. I remember being like uncomfortable.
The sea and all it spoils. Bow to my power.
Oh god, it's so good. And she like makes that whirlpool with her like with her trident. The crown looks amazing on her, I will say that.
I know.
She looks great with the crown.
Yeah, and also very proto-Aladdin. Like this is very much sort of the same scene as Jafar turning into a genie.
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same vibe. And
yes.
And like that moment of just extreme hubris for both of them in those moments.
I do like that Ariel does, slightly before Ursula becomes huge, does get to rescue Eric, although she rescues him by, she like pulls Ursula's hair back so that the trident, when it's supposed to hit Eric, instead hits the eels, which, rest in peace, Flotsam and Jetsam.
Oh, it's so sad.
So sad.
And she gets she gets really upset. Those are her babies. Those are her
babies. My poor little poopsies.
I know. Poor little poopsies.
They're only friends.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she's got Ariel in the whirlpool. She is about to kill Ariel, but Eric, who knows how boats boat, comes in and like harpoons her, and she electrocutes herself, and that's that.
Yes. I also love the image like of as she's like dying, you get this Kraken imagery of her like grabbing onto the ship.
Yes.
And like tearing
and you
it
also
down.
like
You get all
see
of these
the outline
tentacles.
of her skeleton as she's being electrocuted. I love the animation
so cool.
of this scene. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's such a good death scene. It's so like visually exciting.
Yes, and you see all of the plankton being transformed back into their mer selves. Triton, of course, included. Bad Dad Sea Dad decides to finally let go of his unreasonable bigotry against humanity and allow interracial marriage.
Yes. I mean, like, how can he not? Like, Eric did it.
Yeah.
Eric did what he could not, which was destroy Ursula.
Exactly. So. He turns Ariel into a human, which I also love because it's like, you could have done that the whole time. You just wouldn't, but you could have the whole entire time. I also do appreciate that when Ursula changes Ariel, Ariel is way naked. When Triton changes Ariel, he's like, I'm going to add a dress onto this.
And it's like, what a gorgeous sort of like 1989, 1990 dress. She looks so stunning in it. It's like very, that slinky jersey, probably.
It's very prom.
Yes.
I think I actually basically wore that dress in black to prom.
Oh, nice. Yes, love her sparkle dress. So gorgeous. And then we just get right into that wedding again.
Yes. And Max is very happy and the mermaids are there. Chef Louis is trying to continue his vendetta against crabs and is not successful, and he loses all of his teeth.
It's so unnecessary. It's so
it's just
unnecessary.
This little like Sebastian gets his victory.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, good for Sebastian.
Against a lunatic French chef.
I know. I feel kind of bad for Louis, but it's like, Sebastian, I'm like, good for you. Like, you get your win.
Yeah.
And Eric bows to Triton, which is very nice. And see, what I want to see the treaty for the alliance that's like now regulating like human fish consumption.
Yes. Like, who is on the committee from both sides? Like, what are the terms that are being hammered out? Like, are they never going to eat fish again? Are they going to eat some fish?
And then it's like, are there certain like species of fish that Triton's going to like throw under the bus?
Right. Do they just like, I don't know. I think it was BoJack Horseman or Tuca and Birdie, one of the Lisa Hannawalt like pieces that like dealt with sort of these like animal people that also like have animals that they eat, and that there is this like
BoJack had an episode with that dealing with chicken.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah,
and that they do have these chickens that are like not as sentient as the rest of the like people in the world.
But they're not still, but then it's very uncomfortable because like they're not as sentient, but they're not totally non-sentient. Right. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very unclear.
Yes. And so here as well, as I said, I really would like to see that treaty.
Yeah, how is this alliance being made between these kingdoms?
Yeah, exactly. Of course, made possible by the fact that we are in a very, very vague time and place. But despite that, I am still going to talk about the possible dating for this and some, on notes and off notes in the Vera et Falso section, where we talk about what this film got right and wrong.
Yay! I have some notes as well about costumes.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Yeah, so my sense, and this is not really on costumes but on other things, is that I think that the general, material culture-wise, I think this movie could be seen as being about mid to late 17th century is where I would probably late 17th century is where I would probably want to place it. We are doing some colonizing, we're doing some slave trading, which is of course not in this movie, but what we do have is, I would say, a general Baroque aesthetic in terms of decor, in terms of the boats, and in particular in terms of, I think, the ridiculous statue of Eric feels very Baroque to me. It feels very like the Baroque statue of a ruler that your normal ruler might have been excited about. But, Eric, of course, not so much because he's a cool ruler.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're seeing there's two sort of instances costume-wise, which is on the sculpture, you're getting those slashed sleeves, which is very kind of Renaissance-y, and then and you also get those same kind of sleeve slashes on Ariel's pink dress.
Right.
But you're also getting nothing else from that pink dress except a sort of 1850s Victorian bell-shaped skirt.
Yeah. A little messy.
Yeah, it's a little kind of everywhere.
And in terms of the various material objects we've seen, at least some of them, although I will acknowledge not all of them, fit into that periodization. Fork depends on where we are, but especially if we're thinking about Mediterranean Europe in the kind of 15th, 16th century, we're seeing the growing use of forks.
Interesting.
I think we can justify the presence of a fork, especially because, if we're saying this is the Mediterranean, there's, trade going back and forth. There had been forks in Italy, certainly going back to the 11th century, even older going back to the Byzantine Empire, so the other end of the Mediterranean. So I feel like the fork is legit.
Yeah.
I will justify the fork.
And will you justify the pipe? Yeah.
Yeah, the pipe is a little fuzzier. Pipe smoking does become popular in Europe starting around the 16th century, but this particular style of pipe is off. The 17th century style of pipe you normally see are these clay pipes that tend to have a longer long, thin, straight stem and a somewhat smaller bowl.
Like a hobbit pipe.
That would have been like the style of the time, and so this is a later pipe style. Mm-hmm. The pipe I can't quite justify.
Well, I think the pipe does fit in with sort of like Grimsby's like Georgian kind of getup with his frock coat and his like jabot and his breeches, and he sort of like lives in the same world, and his little kind of like white ponytail, like all of that kind of like can sort of like live in the same space, like just with him.
Yeah.
Because he is a very like that look in particular, especially because it's like not ornate in any way. It's like very simplified. It like is moving into that more like simplified men's dress.
Yes. Yeah, some other items, globes, globes of, the world globe of this kind. We have, dating back to the late 15th century. And so, we're good on that. We've got a helmet, got an hourglass, got a candelabra. Those all seem reasonable. Fun fact, the jack-in-the-box which we see, which like freaks Sebastian out, dates back to the 16th century.
That's wild. I guess, like,
right? It probably didn't quite look like that, but still.
Right. That sort of, like, tincering time of, like, sort of, like, making more complex machinery. That makes sense.
Yeah. She has, like, a little collection of corkscrews, which are referred to starting in the late 17th century.
Okay,
Not bad. The music box is a somewhat discordant note. So there are clocks from the 17th century that are kind of structured like that in terms of having dancing figures that are, like, set up so that they kind of move around when things happen with the clock and when you wind it up. Music boxes like that would have been later. So there would have been music boxes at this time, but they would not have had those like standing figures on top of them. That's later. There is also, in her collection, she has a real painting, which I love.
Oh, right. Yes. What painting is it?
Yes, it is Georges Latour's Magdalene with the Smoking Flame. So a French artist, painting dated 1640. So that would be our definitive, we've got to have after 1640. Because, that's one that she's like singing like, what's a fire and what's the word burn? And she looks at the painting and it's a painting with the woman looking into the flame. Because obviously she doesn't have a flame underwater, but she has a painting with the flame.
And how is that painting surviving?
Yeah, which is a big question.
In salt water.
Right, but also there are actually two copies of the painting now. There is one that can be found in the Louvre and one that can be found in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. So maybe there was a third that was hanging out under the sea for a bit and then got wrecked by Triton.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yes. Yeah. A third mystery copy.
Sadly, my beloved Max does not fit in quite as well in that he is very clearly, I feel like, supposed to be an Old English sheepdog, which is a breed that, according to the AKC, dates from the 18th century. But we certainly cannot say that there weren't ancestors looking this way of the Old English sheepdog, perhaps running around in, like, late 17th century southern France.
Yeah, I think that...
Or whatever.
I also think that, like, as a seafaring nation, like, Eric would be more... as a sailor himself, would maybe be more likely to have a water dog, or, like, a retriever, or, like, something like that. Maybe, like, a plug for my old family, the dog. Maybe a Portuguese water dog, imported. I don't know the history of the breed. But...
I also don't offhand. I had to look up the Old English sheepdog.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because also, actually, Max, we see, is not maybe necessarily especially excited about the water. He's very hesitant to jump into the water. Which fair. So I do not know anything about Old English sheepdogs, and I don't know how common this is. I can certainly say that my herding breed dog is also not big on water. And she had some lab friends who, they loved, like, we would go to the lake and they loved the water. And she was like, I don't think so. So yeah, Eric, I think might have been perhaps Max is excellent, but I think perhaps, a Portuguese water dog or a lab might have better suited his lifestyle.
Yeah, I think so. I think a dog that wants to swim. Yeah. Dog that's going to get that fish.
Yeah. Max just wants to herd.
Yeah, he does. Oh, Max.
I also wanted to talk about food history, and in particular about fish consumption. Shout out in particular to my graduate advisor, Paul Friedman, who is a food historian among his other interests, and who I had an excellent time teaching for his as a teaching fellow for his food history undergraduate course when I was a grad student. He has a great new article about fish. So first of all, fish is a high prestige item. It's both an item that's kind of necessary to eat at certain times, at least if you're a, Catholic Christian type, because on Lent and on Fridays, you are not supposed to eat meat, but you can eat fish. And there's even some very creative, discussions of what might count as fish. If you're a bird, but you're a bird that mostly lives in the water, maybe you're a fish. Don't worry about it. But people were very fond of fish. There's also fun religious stories about fish, including there's a fisherman who was given the Eucharist, but he was like, well, I feel like I'm sinful, and so I shouldn't actually eat it. And he put it in the mouth of a fish. And then 10 years later, he confessed his sin, and this fish swims up and gives him his Eucharist back.
Oh my God. Amazing. I love it.
So cool.
The fish is a messenger.
Yes, and another story where there's this woman who cuts off her hand so that her father won't make her get married. And that's just her way of making herself unappealing, I guess. And she's just I don't have a hand. Surprise, you still want to marry me?
Yeah, you can't put a ring on it.
Yep. And the hand then gets discovered, completely fine and able to be reattached in a sturgeon.
Oh my God.
A fish that is in fact mentioned in the film. Sturgeon would have been very high prestige fish, as were some kinds of eels. I believe moray eels you're not supposed to eat, but other kind of eels were popular. Lampreys in particular are in the eel family, and they would have been an absolute delicacy in the medieval world.
Yeah.
And I also spent a little time looking around, and especially as we move into early modernity, we have a number of recipes for how to cook crabs. So you might broil them or butter them or stuff them. That seems to be what they want to do in this particular film. And so you boil the crab, you take the meat out of the shells, you mince the claws with a fresh eel. Got some spices, got some salt, got some cloves, got some mace, got some herbs. Also some egg yolks, grapes, gooseberries, and barberries, and an artichoke you can toss in there. There's a lot of this stuff happening.
Yeah, that's a flavor explosion.
Yeah, and that's very much that's very much the style of medieval cooking, is that there's a lot of mixing between sweet and savory, and it's very heavy on the spices. In a lot of places, starting in about the 17th century, they're moving toward more simple preparations. And that's actually one of the other things that I find interesting. So we have this choice, right, to make Louis aggressively French. And the idea of the French chef, to some extent, does kind of fit in, because the film, assuming my argument is valid, that I am placing this movie in the late 17th century, what historians now see as being a culinary revolution in French cooking could arguably be dated to about 1651, which is when a cook whose real name is François Pierre, but who is known better as La Varenne, publishes his cookbook La Cuisinier François, which is basically seen as being the birth of French high cuisine. One of these big differences from medieval cooking is that it's emphasizing tasting the natural flavors of the dish. So, you'd want to taste the flavor of the crab meat and not necessarily disguise it with all of these berries and spices. And he, in general, de-emphasizes spices and also has more of a distinction between sweet and savory. This is something that was that these mixes of you would have meat or fish dishes with fruit and with sugar and with spices like cinnamon, which they are kind of associated with sweet dishes. That would be a kind of hallmark of medieval and early Renaissance cooking. But that as we're moving into the mid to late 17th century and onward, that those things are de-emphasized and are kind of relegated to the dessert course.
This is fascinating. I love this.
So yes, food history.
Food history
is awesome. otherwise, and so do you have things about costuming as well?
I could do a little run through of sort of like the major sort of like looks that we're seeing. In terms of Ariel, you know, we have our classic mermaid look, which is very iconic and sort of using these like bright colors, these like this green, purple, red hair. That's what you got, which is like very like visually strong. Her pink, you know, her sail look is what it is. Her pink dress, she's got that kind of mid-Victorian bell-shaped skirt, which would have had a lot of understructure under it, but then she also has these slashed Renaissance puff sleeves. It's sort of giving us a little bit more of an older look. It's off the shoulder, which is actually also pretty mid-Victorian, but also very 80s. Right. I think that like, whenever you're looking at the way that like costumes are created that are like, you know, period pieces, or even sort of when it's more vague, you're always going to be seeing it through an eye of the person who is in the time that you are in right now. So if someone from the 80s is designing costumes from the mid-Victorian era, they are going to, it's impossible to not bring a sensibility of like what is interesting to look at, or like what is like trendy or flattering. Yeah. Sort of like, so you see that sort of 80s-ness, especially with like her big bangs. Yeah. As well. Like that's all reading. You know, but then you also have like her sisters who all have these different very iconic hairstyles, and some of them look a little bit so fun. Sort of like medieval and moving into Renaissance, and some of it is just like fun. Yeah. Her little pink nightgown would not have been pink, but it is like a very clear sort of visual chemise that she would have been both like sleeping in and wearing underneath her dresses. Definitely wouldn't have been pink, would have been white. Well, would have been unbleached white, probably. She's got her on the town look, very 50s Renaissance fair, that cute little bodice and a skirt and a chemise kind of like shirt underneath, which is sort of like very cute and very like cute little pumps. I feel like every like Disney princess is wearing like a cute little pump. When,
I feel like really, I really wanted at various points of my life to wear that sort of like Disney low-heeled pump, and then I'm like, oh no, this isn't comfortable. I don't want this. No, thank you.
No, and I think a flat shoe would have been a little bit more appropriate for sort of like the time periods that we're working in. Yes. And even like sort of within that 50s thing as well, if you're thinking about like Audrey Hepburn as like a sort of like princess on the town, like she, you know, she's got a little ballet flat with that sort of like A-shaped skirt. And then she's got her wedding dress, which, it's like very wasp-waisty. She's got huge leg of mutton sleeves that would be very like Edwardian, and also again like is reading, you know, and she still has sort of this like A-shaped, bell-shaped skirt. So she's got sort of Edwardian on top and then kind of like vaguely whatever on the bottom. But what you actually are ending up with is like honestly like a wedding dress from the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, that's absolutely. Like, I was thinking, looking at those like giant shoulders.
Yes. It is like the only thing in here that would read as really Edwardian, but then like also is just going to give you 80s, which I think is very, very fun. And it's such a cute, iconic look. I think she looks so cute and beautiful. Eric, you know, is just sort of in a look that it's like very visually strong. You sort of get it. You've got his little red sash.
Eric's outfit looks like something that is vaguely nautical. That's maybe what a stripper would wear.
Yeah.
Like Eric's outfit looks like you could maybe tear it away really fast.
He looks like a sexy sailor. You know, he's got his little boots and he's very, very cute. And and he does read as that sort of like man of the people. I just want to be a sailor. I'm not a prince. His wedding look is kind of like vaguely European prince king. It's kind of like
militaristic.
Right? It is militaristic. He's got his like epaulets and it's not like kind of like it reads similarly to like a contemporary royal wedding. Like what you would see them wear, but in white because he's in the Navy, he's more like nautical, so you have that white, blue, gold kind of look. So it's kind of like late 1800s, kind of turn of the century, cool, nice looking jacket. And that's his sort of, and and he's striped down his pants as well. Yeah, we talked about chef stuff. Grimsey is like very Georgian, very formal. Right. So actually lives more sort of like is an older look than like a lot of what else we're seeing, but is also very pared down, which is like sort of what you see menswear moving in as time moves on. And and then Ursula, I mean, it just looks like a diva. Like she just looks like a diva. That's the look for her.
Absolutely.
That doesn't change at all. It just is.
Yeah.
And we have like little notes of other things, like the wedding guests have a little bit more like hair rolls, like Renaissance style, little caps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that is actually where it's interesting. You see a little bit, this sort of like bodice with the pointed sort of center front and that sort of the lines of the bodices looking just a little hair sort of like a little bit older, which is interesting because it kind of doesn't look like anything else in it, and it doesn't look like the people you see at the castle who are just more like servant, so you have like washerwomen who are again like Renaissance wench vibe. So that's sort of like what you're dealing with. It's like a little bit all over the map. It does. I do think it kind of like creates like a pretty strong visual. Yeah, and I did like reading the original from 1836. Actually, is like super interesting. It's placed very Mediterranean because they talk about palm trees, but it also like the prince is like described as like being very dark, and he has dark hair and black eyes, and he's a little bit darker.
Interesting.
They talk about like temples and slave girls, and the Little Mermaid when she is on land is being wrapped in like silks and muslins, and so it actually like reads it is like kind of Orientalism. Like it's
I was
really
gonna say
that,
like it almost I feel like is like positioning it into this would no longer be a going concern after the late 15th century, but it almost is like like the Sultanate of Granada. Yeah,
it's like a little bit like Turkish. Like, are we dealing with kind of like Le Corsair era sort of like which like sort of for the 1830s is like absolutely what was happening like in ballet. It was happening in opera. You're getting this like huge like beginning to lean towards Orientalism, and so that was really interesting. But also the story places you in a place with palm trees, but also a place with icebergs. And that doesn't make any sense.
Right. So we've got some geographical fuzziness.
Very much so. It's like, like for Hans Christian Andersen, I'm sure like icebergs would be something he knows about. But maybe like wouldn't have known that in the Mediterranean there are not icebergs.
Right.
But yes, that was like really kind of an interesting thing about the source material.
Yeah.
Was this a little bit more like Orientalist, exotic.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
For this. Yeah.
And I feel like this could be interesting, to like think about this as being in the film, of course, Eric et al. Are like very like white European type, but to think about this as like, maybe like Eastern Mediterranean actually, as opposed to Western Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's like he's slightly olivey, like that.
Yeah. Like, right. Like, yeah.
Just like a wisp.
Right, like if we think about this as like some polity and like within the Ottoman Empire, like interesting.
Yeah. I was like it was very interesting to read that and see. Because I don't think I usually think of like, I associate Orientalism with like operas and ballets and that, but not with like fairy tales too much. But there are like a ton of it in fairy tales. You just sort of have to like look for it. Yeah. That was interesting to see.
And of course, that's also a much less happy ending as well, right? I mean, she like dies and does not end up with him. So
she almost dies. But then her spirit is taken up by the air spirits.
Right.
And, like, what she's after is, like, the prince, but also she's after an immortal soul. Because mermaids don't have immortal souls. But then these, like, air spirits sort of, like, pick her up. And they're like, we can work our way towards an immortal soul. And so you will be with us now. And you will work towards an immortal soul.
Interesting.
Yes, because I had also... In it, or like the Sea Witch does say, like, if you don't marry him by a certain point, like, you will turn into sea foam and die. And she pretty much almost does, but then she is like saved and I think she is saved because she is actively trying to get an immortal soul. Right. So there's that like. I think that's why the storyteller,
right?
Yes, I think that's why the storyteller is like, oh no, like if you search for an immortal soul, even if you don't like get it this way, maybe you can get it another way. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a really long time since I read the original, and I was like, because I also remembered her dying. Yeah. But she sort of dies.
Yeah. Okay.
And becomes a spirit of the air.
Yeah. I mean, she's getting she's not like alive. She might be getting an immortal soul, but
she's certainly not with the prince or with her family.
Yeah. No.
Those things do not happen for her.
Yeah, the fairy tale as well as the film, we definitely have a sort of, as is often the case in fairy tales, a kind of vague, in terms of both aesthetics and other circumstances, we have a kind of very vague, a long time ago kind of setting.
Mm-hmm. exactly.
Obviously, like, my argument that this is like precisely the like late 17th century is somewhat sarcastic, but as I said, we have this real painting, and I think not all but a lot of the aesthetics fit within, and material culture fit within that period.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I love your analysis. I think it sounds really great.
Thank you. And I now wanted to get into the Historia et Veritas section, is where I talk about a real person, event, or phenomenon. I want to talk about contracts and notarial culture, which is like my nerdy thing that is very specifically my research. I spend all of my time reading medieval contracts.
That's amazing. Keep going. I'm riveted. I'm already ready.
And this is actually a big pet peeve of mine, is that in the many inaccurate tropes about the medieval past, one that you see very frequently is the idea that there's no law, essentially, that we're in this kind of pre-legal or between legal moment where everything is just essentially chaos and anarchy. And that is very much not the case. And I can tell you it's not the case because I have read literally thousands of legal contracts. Literally thousands.
Amazing.
Contracts are prevalent as a means of enforcing various kinds of arrangements throughout the medieval and early modern world. And in particular, when we're talking about a vaguely Western Mediterranean setting, which is approximately where I would say I might locate this, the most important way in which people who are of various social strata would create and enforce contracts would be through the notaries. Notaries today, if you go to the notary at your UPS, they basically just sign and stamp a thing, and that's kind of it. In a medieval and early modern European context, the notaries have a dual function, that they're both public officials whose authority validates a contract, so in the same way as notaries today, but they're also legal professionals in some way almost akin to certain kinds of lawyers today, that they're people who are specially trained in being able to draw up certain kinds of legally valid contracts because there are a number of standard contractual forms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they're the people who know how to essentially fit what you're looking for in terms of the particular kind of business arrangement, or say, for example, that you're trying to make with this other person. They can fit it into this kind of standard legal contractual framework, which is something that is very much rooted in Roman law. Roman law is, I would say, never totally dies out, but is even really kind of revived in a very big way in about the kind of 12th, 13th century, and becomes something that people are actively appealing to. And then there's also a bunch of local customary law, and notarial contracts tend to demonstrate a bit of a kind of blend of these legal traditions.
Yeah, I was going to ask, who, where do these, types of contracts come from? Who decides, how to create these, what does it mean to have, certain types of contracts, I guess?
Yeah, and so that's sort of where the tradition is coming from, but then it's also something that gets developed and passed down. So notaries, you have to pass an exam to be a notary. You also have to be a man and a citizen of whatever city you're appointed a notary in, and a Christian,
Sure.
all those things. But you have to pass an exam, and through this exam, you have to demonstrate that you know what these forms are, and that you can write, and that you can do all of this in at least passable Latin. Mm-hmm. You apparently do not have to pass a handwriting test, as I can say firsthand from reading these contracts, because occasionally notaries have decent handwriting, but usually it is terrible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Okay.
It is very, very bad. And this is especially because the notaries would draw up basically a nice copy of a contract that the clients would basically kind of each get a copy. But then they also had a copy that they made through their own records, and they kept a book. And so these are actually some of the kind of oldest paper documents in Europe, are these kind of notaries' books of contracts. In these books, it's basically just the copies that they kept of every contract they drew up for their own records. And so this is where they really kind of let the handwriting go in a big way. And that's mostly what I'm reading, and where I have read thousands of contracts. So yes, the handwriting can at times be a nightmare.
Wow. And they're all written in Latin.
All written in
For the
Latin,
most part,
yes.
yeah.
By the time you're getting into the early modern period, in some particular places, notarial contracts start being written in local vernaculars, or sometimes in kind of a mix, essentially, of local vernaculars. And I actually do have already one late 14th century contract where the notary actually drew up a copy in Latin and a copy in the local language, which in my area was Catalan. You're seeing more of a kind of turn toward the vernacular in the early modern period, but definitely in some places would often be seeing Latin contracts still. And so also then part of this that is, I think, really interesting is that the notary, is certainly this kind of skilled professional, right, who's drawing up these contracts. But this function that he has as a public official also matters because this is what makes a contract legal, binding, and completely unbreakable, to use Ursula's terminology. Never actually completely unbreakable. She's got magic as an enforcement, and that obviously beats what the notaries can do.
Sure.
But it is the case that by going to the notary and having the notary draw up this contract for you, that transforms your private agreement into something that is a public and a legally enforceable fact. So this is kind of really essential as an enforcement mechanism in terms of, say, making sure that your loan gets repaid, or making sure that this person that you're entering into a business partnership with holds up their end of the deal, or that, this person that you're marrying, that they eventually actually pay the dowry to you in full, and that you as the bride, if you eventually, say, get widowed, that you also have a contract that demonstrates how much your dowry is and can get that out of your husband's estate. All of these ways, and you even see actually in some of the notarial contracts I refer to that there are contracts where, first of all, they actually refer back to other contracts. So they say you are repaying me for this loan, and this is the contract that I have, and this is the notary who drew up the original loan contract, and this is the date on which it was signed. I also even have a couple of inventories. So in particular, when you have, say, a widow who is managing her husband's estate, for example, she might be asked to kind of have an inventory drawn up of all of the possessions to basically make sure, say, that she's not accidentally or on purpose dissipating her children's inheritance. So that, say, she might have to draw up an inventory, or other guardians or executors of an estate might have to do the same thing. These inventories sometimes even have a list of, these are the contracts that I have, which demonstrates that these people owe me money, and that's part of the assets of the estate.
Yeah. I mean, so how does this inform ye olde filing systems, I guess?
I mean, well, the hard part is, the problem is that they don't have filing systems to some extent, which is too bad, because my life would be way easier if there were better filing systems. The notaries themselves, with a couple of exceptions, when they're keeping this stuff for their own records, they're not filing them or dividing them in a way that's useful or convenient. It's essentially just, this is a big book, and in this big book, which has 300 pages, and each page has a couple of contracts. So potentially you could have one with 1,000 or close to 1,000 contracts. It's just all of the contracts that this notary happened to draw up between July 1342 and December 1343. That's all. Okay. That's the entire organizing principle. People who had their own, nice copies of the contract. From what we know, they seem to have had basically chests that they kept them in, but we don't, I think, have a good sense of, what kinds of systems of organization they used, if any, to distinguish, or it was really just that they kind of rifled through the box whenever they needed something. But the notaries in particular, the date would be really the only key to finding where this contract, they'd made the record of this contract. So there's a couple of exceptions to this. In some places, they actually put marriage contracts in separate registers. In some places, they have separate registers for contracts that involve Jews.
Okay.
Which is an interesting, little segregation bit. So these books that are literally, they're called in Latin Libri Judaeorum, which just literally translates to books of the Jews.
Yep.
And they're mostly Jewish loans to Christians, but also some internal Jewish contracts and various other things as well. But so that in some towns, it's basically if a Jew is involved in this contract, then it goes in this book as opposed to in that book. So
it's wild.
Yeah, and there's a couple other various kinds of divisions here and there. There are some places where maybe like one family is a big enough deal that they basically get their own book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the most part, though, you basically just like go through your hundreds of pages of contracts and kind of go through just looking for what seems interesting. But like there's no sorting mechanism that exists. Right now, the sorting mechanism is my Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, right. You sorted it. You have the
Yes.
filing system.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's very wild. I've never thought about medieval filing systems, and now I have.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm learning. I'm learning
Yeah.
something today.
Yeah. And like I said, there's just like so many of these things. Like if you're talking
Right.
about like, I have a loan I studied for my dissertation, and this is now becoming my book. I looked at 3 cities between the period 1250 to 1350. I have several thousand individual contracts that I have looked at. You know, not necessarily gone into depth with all of them, but like I do some like quantitative, kind of like very basic quantitative stuff, as well as like case studies of individual people who show up in a number of different contracts and things like that.
Wow. Yeah. That's like a
yeah.
booming business to be a notary.
Yeah. Yeah. Like being a notary was like, it was a fairly high prestige job. It made pretty good money. It depends on the exact like time and location, but I'd say typically like you got a salary, but also you charged by contract, so that people would have to like pay a fee to the notary. The fees were actually often on sliding scales, basically, so that like the more money your contract involved, the more you would have to pay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which to some extent I think is supposed to be something that does make the services of the notaries more accessible to lower strata of society. There still, I would say, definitely are a lot of contracts that probably take place that are, say, very small loans that it just doesn't quite feel worth it to register because, you know, the cost of the registration is potentially prohibitive, or, you know, just, does not seem worth it. But you do have even a lot of like fairly small loans, like what we call like consumption loans that are, you know, like basically like kind of like small payday loans, essentially.
Sure.
So yeah, so I really like that, you know, contracts matter. And so I really like that there is one movie about the pre-modern world to some extent where contracts really matter and are a central element of the plot.
It is, yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the significance of the contract. It's fascinating. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Thank you for educating me on contracts.
Thank you for being here to listen to like my spiel about like my thing that I am, my like big thing that I am nerdy about.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is very fascinating.
They're fun. And yeah, and I'll have to post some images. You know, so they're in Latin. The handwriting is atrocious. I've like had students look at them and like not even be able to like make out a word and like barely be able to make out a word. The dates are based on a Roman dating system for the ones that I look at, which means that like you have to like spend time calculating what the date is. Because it's like, oh, today is like the 14th of the calends of July. And it's like, come on.
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Cool. Do you think Ursula's like contract is pretty airtight?
I mean, I think so. I think that she has a really solid contract. And, you know, so she obviously, I think the way the system works is that essentially like magic is used as the enforcement mechanism in lieu of something like notarial culture. So that they do not have notaries as far as I can tell. Like Ursula seems to be doing her own kind of contract drawing up, but that magic is therefore then the enforcement mechanism. Also, I think it is interesting, the idea actually that, I mean, Triton's first reaction is to attempt to destroy the contract. And this is actually also in some ways like very much a pre-modern idea, the idea that like in theory, destroying the contract could then essentially invalidate it, which is something that people certainly tried to do. This in particular actually shows up in some of the, this is earlier, this is like 12th century, but in say the 12th century massacre of the Jewish community in York, in England, it was very clearly in part economically motivated. And in addition to killing people, they also actively sought out and destroyed members of the Jewish community's records of loans.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it actually is in part because of the fact that this was something that the royal government was aware people were doing. It's in part because of that they essentially like created a system of centralized registration so that like you couldn't do that, right? Or so that the local Jewish community's records wouldn't be the only record of the debt.
Wow, that's so interesting. This is so interesting, sort of like this sort of way in which, you know, and this is like not, like I've never thought about medieval contracts ever.
Most people
I have thought about a lot about magical contracts. Because I think they come up in a lot of different sort of like fantasy and magical realism stories. But the way that things like this that like we take for granted have like shaped the past in like extraordinarily significant ways. So like needing to centralize anything has usually been like where a lot of big changes happen. And so the way that not only like, you know, in the story that you just told me, in the way that it both like kind of like protects a vulnerable community, deals with racism, and creates a like centralized system that also like is beneficial to many, many people.
And that's the other thing, and that's interesting too, is that, so I specifically, as I kind of have indicated, I work on 13th, 14th century Catalonia. In that particular time and place, so Jews are actually, so basically any kind of Jewish loan to a Christian is actually mandated to have notarial registration. And that is something that I think arguably does work to protect both sides in terms of, because of certain kinds of uncomfortable and unpleasant anti-Jewish stereotypes, the debtor being like worried that the creditor will cheat them, and that the way you avoid that is by having this contract. And then on the side of the Jewish creditors, then it's like, well, we're worried about these people who hate Jews trying to use anti-Jewish stereotypes in order to avoid paying their loans. And this is like provides them then some protection against that.
Yeah.
So it is, I think, something that really does function fairly effectively, arguably, as an enforcement mechanism, especially in these circumstances of interreligious, intercultural trade, in circumstances where, like, there's not necessarily an immense amount of trust.
This is fascinating. I love it.
Yeah. I'd love
I wish I had more like interesting questions. This is all like this is such like new information. I'm just like absorbing it. I'm sure I will text you later with questions.
Absolutely. I am always happy to answer all contract related questions. I'll put in the show notes as well a bunch of recommendations for some excellent books out there on notarial culture, including some that will tell you more about like the early modern stuff, which I've definitely been disproportionately talking about the kind of slightly earlier medieval context. But there's also some excellent work on 16th and 17th century notarial culture. And also like the idea that like the notaries also in some areas seem to have like functioned as brokers, and they're like bringing like, say, creditors and debtors together.
Right. Yeah, they really are serving this like huge role.
It's like Flotsam and Jetsam are kind of our brokers.
Oh my gosh, yes! Like they're the notaries. Like they're they're brokering the deal. Yeah. They're her representatives outside of her world and her her physical space. Like, they are the ones who are representing her to the outside world. Which is like not great because they look super creepy.
Right. Yeah, but she is also, awesome, but also creepy. So, it's on brand, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I know, it's so, oh my gosh, it's so interesting, especially because, like, I don't know, like, people don't, like, think about notaries anymore. Like, we know that, like, notaries exist, and sometimes you have to get shit notarized, but, like, I can't remember the last time I had to get something notarized.
And it's part a change over time, and also, from what I understand, it's also part a difference between an Anglo-American legal system and the kind of more, in some ways, overtly Roman influence like system that was the one that was most prevalent in like the Italian peninsula and the Iberian peninsula and in France. And I believe actually the notaries have a role still in some of those countries, and also I think in Latin America or in some Latin American countries, I think the notaries actually have a role that is at least somewhat closer to what I'm seeing in this pre-modern context, but that's really because it's a kind of regional difference.
Interesting.
Yeah. Notaries. They're great. They're awesome. I love notaries.
Are you a notary yourself?
I am not now. I feel like it would be fun to be a notary. I feel like I would just be like very excited. I'm like, they tried to say that like women couldn't be notaries and Jews couldn't be notaries, but I can be a notary.
Yeah, I think that like, I don't know. It seems like it's not like the hardest thing in the world to like get to be a notary. So I feel like you could do it.
Yeah, it honestly seems a lot easier than it was in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, and I think it would be fun. Yeah. I don't know, you'd meet a lot of different people all the time.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting. At this point, we can get into the Fabula Nostra, where we each have the opportunity to come up with a piece of media inspired by this one.
Okay.
Would you like to go first?
I want to clarify, because I have like multiple things. Like, is this like a recommendation of a piece of media that already exists, or like imagining media in my mind?
Imagining media that you would have in mind. Like the media that you want to see in the world that does not currently exist.
Mm-hmm. I want to see, I just want to see more mermaid stuff, for sure. And I feel like mermaids have been like having such a renaissance lately, where like now you can buy those like fins that you put on your body, and you can go like flop around all over the place, and there's people who are doing all kinds of like beautiful mermaid like photo shoots, but like I want to be seeing more like information, almost even like I think a reality show about like those mermaids doing like shoots and doing like all these things, like creating a reality show for the people who are doing mermaid content could be very fun. I think that would be very fun. I don't know what you would like. I don't know what like all the challenges would be, but yeah, it would be like, oh, like you have to do it in like a color scheme that you don't usually do, or you have to do it like at a poolside, or you have to do it on like a really rocky beach, or like I don't know. Like I don't know how to like create those challenges, but yeah, I think that could be really, really fun.
That'd be great. Disney's very into origin stories these days, and especially villain origin stories, and the only one I want is Ursula's. I want to know what Ursula was doing in the palace. I want to know what that whole story is about, like when Ursula was like in power and like part of mermaid society.
Happened in the past when Triton's beard was shorter and his hair was shorter, and like everyone was younger, and what was going on? Like, what is the drama?
Yeah, like I want to know what was going on then. I want to know about Ursula coming into her powers as both a witch in terms of her magic, and also in terms, obviously, of her contractual skills. And so I want to know what that journey was like for her. And I also think that that I think we should at this point have an overtly queer storyline.
She's like ready. She's ripe for it.
So give that to Ursula.
Yeah. I know. It would be so much more. Like, I haven't watched Cruella yet. I probably won't. I don't think I need it. Like, I think I like Cruella as is. You know, like with some of these villains.
Yeah, obviously people enjoy it, and like no shade to people who are excited about it or enjoy it at all. For me, I feel like it's just a little like, really? We had to do the origin story about the person who murders dogs for fun?
I know.
Like, I feel like she's the least redeemable.
She's so perfectly evil. She exists in this like space and in this mold, and she is so compelling as a villain.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need to make her more compelling. Like, she just is already.
And she's also like, I don't want to know her like sob story that made her want to murder dogs, because she murders dogs.
Yeah, I don't need to know. I don't need to know any of it.
I think we really also like gotten the sense over the course of this podcast that like dogs are absolutely the way to my heart, and that like hurting dogs is like the way to my hatred.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know, man. But I think an Ursula one would be very, very fun.
That's what I would like. So our final proper section is the estimatio, or rating, where we rate the film on a scale from 1 to 5 based on whatever purely subjective criteria we see fit.
Okay, great. Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
5 out of 5. It's my favorite Disney movie.
Yes. Very fair.
I deal in absolutes. So yeah, it's so good. The music, Alan Menken, like, kills it. The music is stunning. It looks really good. It set the tone for so much of the like Disney Renaissance of the 90s, and I think it's so good. It's tight. It's really tight. Yes. There's no like air. It's just like, and it's also like,
this movie is like, it's like 85 minutes long, and like
it's perfect.
Some of these movies are so long.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it gives you exactly what you need. It looks really fun. There's great comedy. I love it.
I'm going to give it my nitpicky medievalist, I'll say 4.5 out of 5, which is really just that, I think that it would have been interesting had it made a slightly more consistent choice about exactly when it took place, and maybe even slightly more consistent in the material culture. I think that would have been interesting.
I agree.
But other than that, like, and also there's obviously, things here and there in terms of like fat shaming, in terms of like, wow, the only people who are capable of having a love interest are like very, very like tiny, slender, Disney classically beautiful people, and
Yes.
things like that like have not necessarily like aged perfectly, but
Yes.
I love this movie. Ariel is an excellent heroine. She's plucky. She does a lot for herself.
Yes. Yeah, she's extremely independent. She like knows what she's interested. She like pursues her interests like no matter what people say to her.
Yeah. She's great. Erica, are there places where the listeners could find you on the internet if they so desired?
Yeah, I exist. I don't have a Twitter, but I exist on Instagram, which is made by Erica with a bunch of underscores between and before every part of that phrase, where you can see a lot of my work and the types of work that I do. I have a neglected Etsy store that I need to update soon. That's called Bombadils, because I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Awesome. And Tom Bombadil is excellent.
Yeah, he's king. And I have a website, ericadesautel.com, where you can, which is my online portfolio of theater, mostly theater work that I've done. And you can just find me in Boston, man. I'm around.
All right. So thank you so much for joining me. And for those who have enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe in your preferred podcatcher app and rate and review on Apple Podcasts. I'll read new 5-star reviews in future episodes. Please also follow the podcast on Twitter at Media-eval Pod and join the Facebook group. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at sarahifdecker. And finally, if you have any questions or suggestions, I'd love to hear from you via email at media.evalpod@gmail.com. So thank you again. This was fantastic.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for having me. This was really fun, and it was nice to just chat with you one-on-one, yes, which we haven't really got to do before, and also think about, my favorite Disney movie.
Absolutely. And thank you all for listening to Media-eval. Bye.
Bye.